Vulture over culture, you're welcome indeed to another edition of the programme. Well, this evening we're coming to you from Aghamore Community Centre grounds for a vintage work day with vintage tractors, ploughing cars, steam engines and lots more. Now the event is in aid of Aghamore Tidy Towns and the Mayo-London charity tractor run.
Well, Henry, we have a day here in Aghamore with vintage ploughing, with vintage tractors and cars here in Aghamore. We're going doing it for the village here of Aghamore and for Daisy Lodge in Cong and County Mayo, where they're trying to build a Daisy Lodge for a cancer fund for kids.
Is there a lot of planning in organising an event like this?
There's a bit of planning, a bit of head scratching, but we've done a few already, so we're kind of getting used to it at the moment.
Now, I know you're very much involved in this Mayo-London tractor run. That's a big event and it's a big fundraiser, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big event. We're leaving London, the Claddagh Ring in London, Hindon, 24th of April, Henry. It's over 7 days. We have tractors with no cabs, that's what we're going doing it in. We have 12 tractors with no cab, but there's 22 tractors doing it all together. But that was our dream first, was 12 with no cab, but now we have 22 on board.
It's going to be a long bit of driving, isn't it, from London? And where do you end up then?
Well, our route is, Henry, we're leaving London, we're heading for Birkenhead into Belfast. We're leaving Belfast on Wednesday morning and we're going to Daisy Lodge in Newcastle, in County Down, yeah. We're going as far as Castleblaney. From there to Longford Vintage Club there. Leaving Friday morning, leaving Longford, and we're heading across to Shannon and Tarmanbarry. We're heading down all the way on the N5 as far as Bohola. And then we're turning left in Bohola. And we're going back up into Kilkelly. And we're staying in Kilkelly on Friday night. Saturday morning we're leaving Kilkelly and we're going to Cong in County Mayo. So that's our plan, or that's our route.
And I know your previous Mayo-London tractor raised a lot of money. Are you expecting to beat that this year?
Well, sure, look, we're living in hope. We've done Dublin Mayo twice. We raised over 220,000 in 2 years. Came out of nothing. But look at the amount of people. It's like a football team, Henry. It's not a one-man show. It's a team. It's a team effort. And luckily enough, we have a great team behind us. We have great support. And I'd like to thank everyone like that comes out and supports us. And the boys is there, you know, there's a lot of planning going on behind the scenes at night time. We just sit in an office there planning work. People don't see all that till we do it.
And if people want to contribute and give some funding for it, what can they do?
We have a London to Mayo Facebook page and we have a GoFundMe page, and you can see us there on the GoFundMe page, and you can donate there through the GoFundMe page. But anything at all, Henry, every little penny is greatly accepted. You know, there's 7 kids in every week diagnosed with cancer in Southern Ireland. We haven't got a building like this in Ireland before, so it's great to get something like it.
I'm involved here in the Aghamore Community Tidy Village, and today we're putting on a vintage working day, and we have a big parish here, and today we're just showing everybody the ploughing that's going on. The horse ploughing, we have some trashing going on, steam engine here and some car display. And look, it's great to see people out here and out and about again.
And what's the land like for ploughing today?
It's good actually, it's very good. Yeah, we're ploughing on stubbles here today. Local man here, Donald Burns Field, kindly let us plough it. And it's good. We're lucky enough, we had good 2 days there of good weather just to dry it up. So yeah, we're getting on okay.
And what about types of tractors that are ploughing here today?
Yeah, so we have one of the oldest tractors here ploughing is a Fordson End, 1938. And that's ploughing with a Ranson trail plough. We also have a Dexter plough with a trail plough there, and a few Massey Fergusons and 135s as well. So,
and you have a couple of lovely Clydesdale horses as well.
We have another local man here, Mr. Coogan. He's ploughing with some lovely Clydesdale horses here, and he's getting on very well actually. Yeah.
And you're here at the local GA pitch as well, a thriving club.
Yeah, this is our community clubhouse here that's been, it was built in 2019. We were going launching it. Unfortunately, COVID kicked in. So look, hopefully this year we might get a chance to launch it as well. And Aghamore, it's a big parish. You know, great footballers, great football team here as well. So yeah, a lot going on here.
You're the youngest man ploughing here today. How did you get driving tractors?
Well, the real start was when my grandfather, when he bought the plough I have here today with me, he bought that and he was ploughing for people like a contractor back in the old time. And then Dad overtook it, ploughing bits for people, and then I overtook it. And my cousins they're up Kilmaine, and they're big into the county ploughing, and one year they asked me would I come up and do it, and I did, and ever since I got into ploughing, and I'm out with Dermot and the lads here for every event they have, ploughing away.
You seem to be enjoying it, and you're good at the ploughing.
Oh yeah, as I say, we learn from the best. So
yeah, and do you mind me asking what age you are?
I'll be 17 now next month.
And is this something you're going to go into farming when you
yeah.
finish college?
Hopefully engineering now and agriculture.
Wow. And what's the ground like for ploughing today? How's it compared to other days you've been ploughing?
Well, the days it's been better because it was drier. Like what we did last year was very good. We were in the heat wave, but it's not too bad. It's dried up now a lot. I'd say after, it's wet, but it's not too wet. Like it's not sticking to ploughs or anything. So it's just kind of ideal.
Yeah. And obviously there's a skill to it. What you're doing.
There is. You have to try and keep straight and make sure you have your plough level at all times, and just a little tweaks can change the whole plough.
And did you ever think of going into the ploughing championships?
Well, this year now I have entered to do the juvenile Mayo County Plowing, and that's in April. And then if I have to do that, and then if I qualify, I probably not, but reach the national ploughing championships in September.
Well, look, we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Kieran, you've been in business here now for around 20 years now.
Yes, yeah, we're in business. We established in 2002, and we built this new premises in 2008. So we're down here now 14 years, and we supply all used second-hand cars and vans, and we do used tractors and farm machinery also.
Yeah. And can I ask you how business is? We came out of the pandemic, and of course now we have the war in Ukraine and that. How is it affecting you?
Well, I suppose the pandemic, for the 3 or 4 months from May to August, it was quite into 2020. But I picked up after that and went back. We were back to normal, really, But the war now hasn't helped things. We just came out of one and into another. But that's affecting the supply of new cars, which is affecting the supply of used cars. So I suppose it's later on this year we'll see the full effects of the war, what the war has happened. But fuel prices aren't helping either,
Right. And in the meantime, of course, you're very good with supporting community projects, and the latest one was the Vintage Day in Aghamore.
Yeah, we're very happy to support it. Anything that's done for charity, we're quite willing to help, So they've done a great job. Fair play to John and the lads,
Yeah. And the Mayo-London to tractor run as well, a great cause as well.
Fantastic cause for Daisy House. It's an amazing project, and there's a serious amount of work on in by the lads, and I don't think people actually realise the effort and time they put into it. So best of luck to them. I hope it goes very well for them.
Great. Final word with you, John. I know you want to thank some people for making it all possible as well, and indeed your sponsors as well, like Kieran.
Yeah, Henry, I'd like to thank all our sponsors. Everyone that has helped us. I'd like to thank the boys in London, Liam O'Malley and his team. I suppose without them this wouldn't be going ahead. Made it very easy for us boys. I'd like to thank Harrington's Concrete in Kilkelly. Without them either, it wouldn't be going ahead with their offices and the support they've given us the last couple of years since we started out in 2017. But I'd like to thank everyone that supports us, everyone that's came behind us, and hopefully we'll see them all when we cross the Shannon on our way home on the 29th and 30th of April. But we'll be finishing up in Cong, hopefully around 1 o'clock on the 30th of April. So everyone is welcome to come out there and see us coming into town.
Well, I think my dad used to have these vans when I was younger myself. So it's 4 teams, and it was the 4 transit of the day, So I got that was about 15 years ago, and just a lad I knew then done it up for me was saying we're working on it for years just to kind of get fixed up, and so just something different.
Yeah. And do you go to a lot of shows in it?
We do, yeah. We had our Paddy's Day parade just the other day, so I had it in that and go on to different events, and it's nice because you meet people that remember them, and it's kind of memories and that, and you meet a lot of people too. So there are good days out.
And a lot of the show bands used to have an actual van like that to go around to the ballrooms when they were playing.
That's right, yeah. They were very popular with the show bands, would have been, like I say, yeah. So would there be a minibus too, there would. So there'd be a lot of them around. Any, would say, films you see on television, I would say, in the 70s, that you'd always see the 4 teams on it. Yeah. So they were a popular van at the time.
And there was a floorboard in them as well, wasn't there? Some of them, the 4 transits.
The floor in the back, would say, was like an 8x4 sheet that was on it, like we say. You know, they were pretty basic vans at the time, like we say. Like the sun visors would be an extra. They wouldn't come normally with them, like, so they'd be all extras in them and that. So they were pretty basic, they were. But they done the work they had to do.
And it's still roadworthy, and still you could travel around with it now. What's the furthest you've ever driven in one of these?
Oh, I haven't been. We actually just done the engine lately in this one because I had it. It's going well now again, but it travel any place, like we say, different shows on maybe 40, 50 miles away and that. But cruise along, it's nice 40 miles an hour and you'll get there.
Okay. Well, it's attracting great interest today here.
It is.
A lot of people are, coming around looking at it and that.
It is, yeah. Well, it's different and you don't see them now, we'll say, because vans weren't things that were kind of looked after in the time. They were worked hard and they were dumped afterwards, like we say, So it's very rare to see a van. And then, we'll say, my own generation and that, they'd always remember these vans. And especially around this area here, we'll say, my dad used to be collecting potatoes at the time. And we've been around dropping off the bags to the farmers, we'll say, and then we've come back later up on picking up potatoes later on. Like, so when anyone sees the van today, that's their memories of that, as my dad and that,
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
Joe, lovely to see you here in your own patch, of course, a well-known voice on Midwest Radio with your traditional Irish music programme, Tá Fáilte Road.
Gonna be the Mahigat Henry, agus Fáilte go Aghamore. Well, actually, we're in the townland of Killian, which is just across the road from the townland of Aghamore. But we're standing on our own ground, that's right.
Yeah, this is your actually family farm, isn't it?
This is our land, that's right. And my father, Joe, as well, the mercy in him. The last time I remember him ploughing with horses in this field was 1967. And it's lovely that there's such a gathering here. Beautiful as well that you're here to capture that, Henry. And I don't wish to be promoting, or anything like that. We had a common parish one time in Midwest, but you're doing wonderful work and it's beautiful to capture this sort of activity. And behind us here we have the Clydesdale horses working. And what my father used to do was he went every single year to the fair in Claremorris. There was a horse fair there. It was the second biggest one after Ballinasloe for many, many years. And he just bought one horse, only the one, and he broke that horse in then, and we usually had a quiet horse. So the two combined for the ploughing every year and for the harrowing and all the turf and all that, and then he'd make a little profit at the end of the year, maybe £25, but they thought it was great money at the time, which I suppose it was.
I was talking to a man here and he was commenting about the fields here, and he says the field out up there on the hill, he says one of the best fields, he says not a stone in it, it'd be great for sowing potatoes.
Absolutely, sowing potatoes, yeah. Well, the way it worked was my father used to never went to England or anything like that, and we only had a small farm, just under 30 acres, but he sold potatoes and oats and barley in the market in Kilkelly mainly on Saturdays, and then we had customers who would buy seed oats and all the kind of stuff and seed potatoes from us and eating potatoes, and also as well as that there was a milk run. We had a small milk run here in the village. So it was great in a way for learning the way of the world, because to see my father in action making a bargain, and people would be very suspicious that the right weight wouldn't be in the bags of potatoes, and they'd insist it would have to be brought to the weighing scale maybe,
Well, look, it's great to bump into you, Joe, and of course, as I said, I was when I was driving up here, I said I'd probably run into Joe Byrne there, because I knew this was your parish and that. It was lovely to meet you, and particularly on your own land as well. So thanks very much for joining us.
Henry, thank you so much. It's land listen over
Thanks a lot.
There's a beautiful old Irish expression that comes to my mind here. It's an old shanacle, and if somebody did an enormous amount of work, way over and above the call of duty, like you're doing now in filming around Mayo, it was called Ober na Gapel, the work of 2 horses. So there it goes. Henry.
This is a steam traction engine that you have here.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about it.
It was built in 1927 over in England, and it's Burrell makes number 4062, so it was the 4000 one made. And it was actually converted. It was a steamroller used on the roads for making the tarmac and making roads in England, and it was converted to a traction engine. And it took, an uncle of mine bought it, and it took 10 years to restore it, fully restore it, do boiler and firebox and the whole lot on it. And it was 10 long years of restoring it and painting it.
Is it? It's run on what? Coal and water.
Coal and water, yeah. So in that centrepiece is the boiler, and there's tubes that run up along it, and they carry the heat up from the firebox at the back where you light the fire, and it carries the heat up and it'll boil the water, and that'll create your steam then, which will drive the steam engine.
And you travelled from Dublin
Yeah.
for this event today.
We did indeed. Left
what-
at 7:30
what-
this morning.
Yeah, what attracted you to that?
We were just asked to come up, and we love doing bits and pieces with it and doing the shows and the whole lot. So we said we may as well, keep it going and keep the steam going, and make sure it doesn't fall out of place or anything. So
And what kind of reaction do you get from people when they see it in
they
operation?
love it. Yeah, people love it now. In fairness, they really do. We go to shows all over the country, and people really love it. They don't kind of understand what it is at first, but once you explain it to them and stuff, they really enjoy it. And they enjoy seeing it, and of course they look well and stuff. So,
Well, look, enjoy the day anyway.
Oh,
Thanks
we
very
will.
much.
Yeah. No problem. It's great to come out for the day, to get out for a little bit, show it off. So.
We started out in 2006 with the Community Campus project, as we call it, and we started by building a new national school, and beside it then 2 years later we put up a purpose-built childcare building, so you can drop all your kids in one place and they're brought to and from school at the various times. We then went on and built an all-weather football pitch and an athletics track behind that, and the final phase of our development was to build our community amenities building, which is just here behind me. It's a huge building. It has sports facilities, recreational facilities, educational facilities. It has meeting rooms, it has training rooms. We have targeted, done a lot of work in the last couple of years during the lockdown. We have had broadband, very, very high-spec broadband installed, and we can now accommodate people who wish to work from home or study from home. They can come in there and they can hot desk, or we can rent them an office space in the building itself if they wish to work there. So we have everything you need there to work, rest and play. It was a huge investment by our community. So like amongst ourselves in the local community, we raised over 600,000 euros over the past number of years to put towards this development. That's huge work by a small rural community,
So well done.
So thank you for that. And I say, if anyone is interested in renting rooms or renting office space from us or renting our conference facilities or our hall for any purpose, if they can get in touch with us in the Aghamore Community Development Company, we have a very good Facebook page and a good online presence. So if anybody wants to get in touch with us for that, we'd be delighted to hear from them.
Could you explain this particular tractor you have for me?
It's a Pampa. It's the very same as a Lanz Bulldog, which is a German tractor. They were built under license by the Argentinian government in the early 50s, 1950s.
Would there be many of these in the country?
No, I wouldn't say so. I'd say this might be the only one that's in the country.
And what year are you talking about?
It's 1952 or thereabouts.
Getting it ready to take it off the trailer here. I see you've a little gas cylinder there. What's that doing?
Yeah, they were known as a hot bulldog. You have to heat the cylinder, the head on them. So when it injects the diesel into the head, it's like a glow plug on a car, a diesel car, that has to heat it to get it to fire.
And are you looking forward to the day?
Oh yeah, it should be a great day. Yeah, if the weather stays up, it'll be great. Yeah.
And does it actually? Can you drive it around the
arena here? Oh, you can. Yeah, when I get going now, you'll see. But it's very noisy. Like there's a square bang off it when it gets going.
Well, good luck with it anyway.
Well, thanks very much.
One time ago, the farmers, go up here and you'll see the Ferguson 20s, you'll see the Ferguson plough, the Ransom ploughs and all the different gear, the Owl Cub tractors, the major tractors, that done the work right around Ireland in the same amount of land. And probably our generation that has changed so much. We've all the big gear, But when we go out with the gear, we're pressing the ground. Those people one time ago, 4 or 5 acres that tilled every year, they were self-sufficient. I used to hear my father saying, God rest him, the only thing they were buying was basically tea and sugar. And after that, they had everything. And we've gone away from that. So a lot of kids don't know where milk come from at the moment. They think it's out of a bottle. Where, we have to go back a bit to basics. And I think it might be no harm, where we can, to go back and be more self-sufficient in this country, because we're relying too much. And when there's things like war, we've found out the consequences of that. But it's local communities that are doing this, showing it round Ireland. And look, at one time ago it was a novelty to look at a thrasher. It might be needed now in a lot of parts of the country. I know there's combines and all the gear that's out there at the moment, but a lot of these youngsters needs to realise that it was through blood, sweat and tears that their forefathers and their fathers and mothers basically tilled the land and built a community around them that's there today to put the facilities of football pitches and all the different things around, along with the help of a certain amount of aid. But I'd often say, if you could harness what every little community does throughout this country, and if you could bring it up to the house that we're in above in the Dáil, and if they'd ever listen to it and use it, geez, you'd have a great country.
Just one other thing I wanted to ask you about. I know you're a great supporter of the people involved in the tractor run for charity. This year's for Daisy Lodge. You've been a great supporter of them over the last number of years.
They're starting on the 24th of April in London. And it's not the most thing you'll be looking forward to, jumping up on a Ferguson 20 or a Dexter tractor coming through the whole of the UK. Maybe without a cab. It's not the warmest job in the world, but this is the sacrifice that these people are prepared to make, and they'll have their bucket collections and they'll have their tickets runs, and they're going to arrive back here in Mayo, I think, on the 30th of April. And one must always think, no matter where you are, no matter what part of the country or indeed the world, someone is always affected through a family member of having someone, especially young children, that may be affected, that have got cancer. And what these people are doing in their own way. I've seen a few years ago, the diagnostic equipment that was bought for the hospitals in Dublin through the raising of those funds. And for Daisy Lodge, they are doing the same, and that's helping someone's son or daughter, grandchild, niece or nephew or whatever. That's helping them in their hour of need, and it can be anybody's child right around this world. So I would ask everyone, and I know that some people might say funds aren't over plentiful at the moment. It isn't about what you give, it's about the will you give it with, and whether it's coppers or whether it's notes, everything is welcome, and they are doing it for a good cause. It's not money that's wasted. Every single penny is accounted for, and every penny goes straight to where it's needed. And I think, I salute them for the work they do.